wanted to do this video. It seems like this is a very great example of how people always try to claim that there's such a thing as colorism against dark-skinned black people, or that their image is not recognized. But this is a great example of how light-skinned black people's images are not recognized. See, there was this whole situation with Zendaya Coleman where a 4C with 4C hair that had a wig, the wig was 4C. And there was like a Twitter storm about it, basically. A lot of the people had a fit that she had, chosen to have 4C hair as her hair type because they claimed that she couldn't naturally have 4C hair. And it's like, that's not quite the case, really. Because a lot of black people who are lighter skinned have 4C hair, just like anyone else. This is the same expectation that perpetuates the sense of destroying the identity of lighter-skinned black women, in the sense that they ignore the fact that lighter-skinned black women even exist. See, dark-skinned black women are expected to look like black women. They're allowed to have 4C hair. They're allowed to have certain features that black people have. But lighter-skinned black people are not really accepted being black, basically. Our hair type, if it's 4C, is not exactly expected for us. See, at least people who are dark-skinned black women, when they have 4C hair, it's not a shock. People expect it. They are allowed to be black. But people who are light-skinned, a lot of the time they're not allowed to even be black. Also, I wanted to touch upon another thing with Zendaya Coleman. It is known that, yes, her phenotype does not look specifically like a black woman's. For example, she has features that would make her look maybe possibly part Asian, maybe Filipino, something of that nature, She doesn't look blonde. So some people might think that that is an image of blackfishing, I guess. But we all know she is black, so she could very well have 4C hair, even if she does look part Asian or looks Asian. That's got nothing to do with it. Also, one other thing I wanted to point out was a lot of the time people act like, the light-skinned black woman's image is put up above the dark-skinned black woman's image. And how can it be when they're not even allowed to look like black women? How can it be when if a light-skinned black person has 4C hair, they can only have hair like the ones I just showed, where it's like very thick and long and things of that nature. If you have 4C hair and your hair is not of that type, or especially, 4C hair, People will act like you're not supposed to have that hair type, like something is not matching up. They will tell you to your face you're not supposed to have that hair. But somehow, black women who are light skinned are uplifted when they're told they aren't even supposed to have the features that they actually naturally do have. And nobody even cares that their color is or texturous or just anti-black towards light-skinned black people because they're like they associate it with the fact that they're not really black people because of their skin tone. So their blackness isn't even respected. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the idea of gatekeeping for C hair. Okay, if you want to gatekeep for C hair, then what about the people who have straight hair? Are they going to gatekeep straight hair? If that's the case, then I'd say that we all should gatekeep hair. Maybe then you'll actually wear hair that is actually foresee instead of straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair, or even a looser type of coily hair. And sometimes you do see some people wear for A hair and for C. So, to me, I mean, like, they always act like they want to gatekeep what other people do to their hair. Even white women who wear braids, you know. But nobody even can dare say, you know, maybe you shouldn't straighten your hair, maybe you shouldn't wear straight weave, maybe you should wear only hair that's your hair texture. I mean, if you're asking other people to do that, to wear their hair texture, why can't you? And I mean that honestly, because to me, looking in, being on the outside kind of run before A, you know, looking in, I don't understand what's so bad about 4C hair that so many people with 4C hair try to hide it. Like, there's nothing ugly about 4C hair. It's very pretty, in my opinion. It's beautiful. So I don't understand why people like to hide it. I mean, it's thick, it's beautiful, it's strong, it's everything good that comes with hair. To me, I mean, I don't know, I would want that hair, but that's just my perspective. Um, but yeah, to me, I just think like if you're really wanting to embrace your hair, why don't you embrace your hair and stop trying to police what other people do with their hair? Your business is your hair, not anybody else's hair. So, to me, that's a major thing. Also, you know, one other thing I wanted to address, like I said, was on the grander scheme, like black, light skinned black women aren't allowed to really be black. The only thing that's celebrated in light skinned black women is basically creating an image that doesn't even have to do with them, that's not even a part of them. It's just basically saying you are easily, or it's easier to hide you than a dark skinned woman, and therefore that's why we prefer you over the dark skinned black woman. Hiding black features, the natural features of a light skinned black woman, is not embracing how the skinned black woman naturally looks. It's doing quite the opposite. It's basically showing that you have blackness, you are black, but it's just easier to hide you, you know, kind of thing. And that's why it's this idea where light skinned black people are not really acknowledged but seen as mixed because that's the image that's put forth. See, nobody puts forth the image of actually being a light skinned black person. Not that image. No one puts that. People may acknowledge that light skinned black women exist. For those who do, they always have the idea that these people can basically pass to look like mixed people. But that's just saying basically that they can hide their features so that they can look like mixed people. And even mixed people are not even embraced for their features, as you can see. This is an image that is heavily pushed with mixed women, it seems like. You see this with a lot of lighter skinned black women. This is the type of image that black women are pushed to look like. How is any of this natural? None of this is natural. And these women weren't even born looking like this phenotype. They look much more Afrocentric. But the one thing that they're celebrating about is how much you can hide how black they look naturally. That's not embracing their blackness. That's not embracing their phenotype. It's just saying your phenotype is easier to hide. Instilling the shame of being black. Instilling the fact that even if they're lighter skinned, it's still not a good thing that they're black. So how is this being put on a pedestal? Honestly, when I look at many dark-skinned black people, they seem to be promoted and pushed to look like dark-skinned black women, like black women. They are encouraged to be themselves. Sometimes, yes, there is a sense of anti-blackness with their phenotype and pushback, but that is given to every black woman. One is just less, there's more pushback, there's more ability to change a lighter skinned black woman, but there's less ability to change a dark skinned black woman. There are consequences to that as well, where people will give more hate against a dark skinned black woman because it's quite obvious she's a black woman. But either way, it is instilling shame in both black phenotypes and mixed phenotypes at that. So that's all I'm trying to say here is that, you know, people try to claim that black people who are lighter skinned can't embrace their lighter skin. They can't embrace their being lighter skinned black people. Not embracing their lighter skin for being closer to whiteness, but actually embracing themselves